This video we're going to analyze the amazing Melvin Crispell III, and y'all know he a singer, so just stay right here. I have been following him and his family's ministry for years, especially his mother and father, may they rest in peace. I've been singing, you know, his father's music probably since I've been singing in choirs. I mean, I remember hearing Tell the World when I was little and all those other songs. So to see his son, Melvin Crispell III, rise up to see what he's doing now with winning Sunday best and everything he's doing, I'm just ecstatic for him. All that God is letting him do, I'm pumped for him, okay? And y'all know he is a singer. He is a singer. And I want to talk about what he does in this song and what he does generally with his vocal approach. So without further ado, let's get right into it, y'all.
All of my life, I've never known you to fail. You remain the same man. Wonderful is your name.
So right there, all of my life, I've never known you to fail. So he's almost giving less emphasis on the articulation of this song. This song is a little more sped up than the one that Hezekiah Walker sang. So with the increase in speed, the articulation is also increased. And so he's almost giving less emphasis on articulation in order to get to the words quicker and to sing through the song more efficiently. Just because you give less emphasis on articulation does not mean you're not saying the words, or it does not mean you're not singing the song correctly or efficiently. That those are not simultaneous, okay? So what he's doing here is almost kind of a jazz singer. You know, jazz singers aren't super articulated in their approach, but yet you can hear what they're saying. It's almost a lax or a relaxation in their articulation, which makes things sound so much smoother. He's a smooth singer, and so he's doing that by giving less emphasis on the articulation and more so just the vocal line that he's giving. It's really good. And if you notice, you remain the same. That same, that has a little nasality, it's a little twang. His whole approach is a little more twang and nasality, but that particular word, he had a high tongue. You remain the same. You see the high tongue? The blade of the tongue is sitting almost up like this. And it's saying a little nasality in there. It's not super nasal, but it's a little nasality in there, but it's a lot more twang, okay? So for those who don't know, real quick, twang is really more so a change in the resonant shape of the vocal apparatus, okay? So twang is what you hear a lot of musical theater singers do. Who does a lot of twang and some nasality for real is Kristen Chenoweth. It's not a bad thing, it's just how she sings. And so he has a little bit of that in him and how he approaches his songs, but it helps him to go high smoothly because it's less weighty, and so as a result he can go higher in his voice way more quicker and smoother than if he were trying to be really heavy and really way more belty than what he's doing. So it's really good. Let's keep going.
All of my life, I've never known you to fail. You remain the same man. Wonderful is your name. Wonderful is. Hey, hey, hey. Never know you to fail. You remain the same.
What I love about his voice and his approach generally, he has his father's ear, but his mother's placement in terms of how he shapes songs. If you don't know, his father was a phenomenal organist, phenomenal songwriter, phenomenal musician all around. His mother was a phenomenal singer. She led many songs and many records, and I've always enjoyed how she sung songs. She was way more jazzy as well when she was singing. So he almost includes the jazzy elements of his mother, but the musical dictation and theory of his father. That's a wonderful combination. Oh, that is a wonderful combination to have. I mean, two very influential, very strong musicians are now influencing who he is as a musician now. And he almost has the same nuance as his mother too, how he shapes his words and shapes his vowels. It's very much like his mother, and I am a fan. Am a fan of it, okay? A fan. Got a little scatting in here. I love that part. He always reminds me of a warm trumpet in terms of how he approaches his music. And that scatting, to me, if I could hear, you know, that trumpet on like a loungy jazz tune, that's what I would hear somebody he's doing. If you want to know how to scat and do riffs and runs, a good place to listen to music for influence and inspiration is to listen to jazz instrumentalists, particularly saxophonists, trombones, trumpets, even pianists. Honestly, any jazz musician, honestly, will give you some great nuances to do because they think differently than singers. And so they have a whole different approach because they know what's going on in the music. So if you want to do riffs and runs like he's doing in scats, you won't have to know what's going on musically, which necessitates knowing music theory, at least basic music theory. I'm not saying be no virtuoso music theory, but having a basic knowledge of how music is orchestrated or how music is put together, how music is executed. You know, hearing those chordal structures and things like that will help you know where to place your runs, because you can do runs all day, but if you ain't doing it in the right context of the music, it's gonna sound bad. That's just the bottom line. So he clearly is knowing what's going on in the music. And to get back to the da-da-da, that was a great approach to get back to the actual song itself. Because this scatting part is not the original song, or at least the song that Hezekiah Walker recorded of this, which was the first version I've heard. But he's doing awesome. He is doing awesome. Let's keep going.
Yes, you did, you did.
So if you notice, his mouth is way more open a lot. His mouth is not, I'm glad, I'm glad. Everything is here. It's almost, I'm glad. And I always tell people to bite into the sound when they want to sing like that, because a lot of people come to me and say, I want to belt more, I want to do this more, but they're always so scared to open their mouth and try it. He is ambitious with his vocal presentation, and so because he opens his mouth like that, he's able to achieve brighter notes or brighter timbres because his approach is bright out the gate. So as a result, he can go higher more efficiently, he can go farther more efficiently, he can do more things acrobatically more efficiently because he's not having that weight of keeping the voice back here. He's letting it be all forward and bright, which is really good. Them background singers is killing it, for the record. Whoever y'all are, kudos to y'all. Y'all sound good. And even the background vocalists, if you notice how they shape their mouths and things like that, if you look at them, everything's very wide. Okay, everything's very wide and bright. That's the aesthetic that he likes, or that is at least produced in this song, that makes the song work. Everything is cohesive. You know, the background singers are being super heavy while he's being light. Everything's very light and almost youthful and joyful in a way, you know? So I love how the background singers are shaping their vowels and being consistent. They're all being very mindful of how they're shaping things. Singing background is way more than just, I'm gonna get back up there and just belt some tunes out. It's about how to be a chameleon and to adapt and to be pliable so that you're a part of that team of cohesion supporting the artist, him or herself, okay? So that was really good. Really, really good. So if you notice his ad-libs, could have lost my mind, or could have lost my mind. He's not my mind. He said my mind, my. So he's keeping that sound very bright and forward, just like I talked about before, which is helping him stay in the front versus going to the back. That's what I talk about, that trumpet or that trombone. It's that brassy but warm sound that he's giving. I think it's phenomenal. There was a slight grunt. I wouldn't call it a squall. He almost has a slight grunt when he sings, when he kind of gets into it. There's almost a slight physical push in his sound that gives him a slight distortion or a color that to me is very unique because, you know, people can squall all day and growl all day, but he almost does like a physical push in his voice. And I think the push comes from down in here in the abs, the respiratory muscles. Really he kind of flexes them and he kind of just lets it all hang out. So as a result of that push, there's a slight distortion, and I think the false vocal folds are kind of coming together just a little bit, enough to give a slight distortion, but not enough to mess up the sound or mess up his voice, which I think is really good. Really, really good. Did you notice on that run right there? And I didn't do it to run right, but if you notice, that mouth was still it was very bright and very open this way. He probably has some space back there too, but it was way more this way open, okay? So that helped to keep that sound right focused in the front versus going to the back or going anywhere else, which helps him navigate through these songs so efficiently and smoothly. If you notice that, beautiful, you can see his body flex a little bit. That's that push I was talking about. That's that flex I was talking about, because that push gives him that slight distortion a little bit, and it gives him a slight coloring, which makes it a little more churchy a little bit, but it's good. He's doing good. Man, he left me wanting more. I wanted some of that vamp. For the rest of my life, boom, boom, I'll serve it. Boom, boom, for the rest of my I know he would have drove that vamp to Kingdom Come, but this was still phenomenal. I think that this modern twist on this song, it just kind of updates it, but keeps the essence of the song what it is. And I know his parents are looking down happy and proud to see what he's doing now. So before you click off of everything, click subscribe down below and then click the alert button next to it so you know when the next video is posted, okay? Remember to be vocally bold, creative, and aware, but most of all, above everything you do with this thing, be vocally you. All right, y'all. Until next time.